new property across Wabash Avenue has been one of Rose's most recent projects. Students have been curious to find out what the plans are for the property. We sat down with campus faculty and students to find out.
So my name is Jake Campbell. I'm Senior Director of Safety and Security. I led the task force committee that developed the recreational use policy for the farm and have been kind of the point person for current uses of the farm.
A little over 1,100 acres, 1,160 acres. It's been in the Rose, the Hulman family for well over 100 years and has had a variety of uses during that time. One of the things we've been trying really hard to do is not have the property drive the strategy for the school, but strategically decide what direction we want the school to go, and then the property should be a resource that supports it. So we're trying really hard not to let the property drive the strategy. That's kind of backwards. But it's tempting because lots of folks have ideas.
You have, of course, what you guys see in the recreational area. You have the trails, the lake that we're trying to repurpose and get that dam resolved for the state's purposes, make them happy with what the regulations tell us to do. Mostly the central third is all woodland, and then the ag land that's on the southern third. Outside of what you see at the President's Residence, the academic barn, the horse stables, and then the lodge, and some of the outbuildings on the south side of the lake. There's not much over there.
I've really just gone on walks by myself over there, just kind of some mental health walks, and my sorority's had a few events over there as well.
I've been on the property a few times and planned some events. So in relation to ROTC, I'm Air Force ROTC, so we did some drills out in the woods and saw President Coon's big house and all his cattle and stuff. So,
as being a member of the cabinet of the disc golf club, we kind of use the front part of the property, but we don't really go back into the back. It's just so big, and there's so many different trails and whatnot to explore.
Some of the future uses that we've collected to date, solar farms, organic farming operations, field campus for the sciences.
We've been thinking in general terms of, if you think of the property kind of coming from north to south, thinking about it in thirds. So perhaps the first third or so of it would become eventually an extension of campus. That would include the lodge, the lake, President's Residence, the horse farm piece, the athletic field piece, and whatever we decide to do as far as expanding campus resources. The center part of the property, a lot of it is wooded and pretty rough terrain, and we've been using that as a field campus for the sciences. So some of the chemistry and biology department do have some small experiments and things over there. Some of the students do, but it's not huge. But there's a lot of opportunity there to use it kind of as a, quote, field campus and leave it in its natural state. And then the last third, again, coming north to south, that goes all the way to Road 42, we're thinking about development of that at some point kind of as an innovation park. So one of the things we'd like to do is move Rose Hulman Ventures to that part of the property to get it closer to campus so that students have more opportunity to have access to Ventures, and Ventures has more opportunity to have access to faculty and the resources that are here. So bringing Ventures, quote, on campus.
I feel like if you did utilize that area for student housing, that would actually be very beneficial. I feel like there's not a lot of options for housing on campus specifically for a lot of people, and I feel like a lot of those apartments fill up pretty quickly. I've heard from a lot of people. So if you did have an easier way for just Rose Hulman students to get the living arrangements, I feel like that would go much smoother for them.
With this much real estate and the need for additional housing, we're going to be taking a hard look at that. What makes sense? Should that be all on this side of the road?
The little space over here is starting to get a little cramped, so it'd be nice to, maybe see some buildings that aren't necessarily essential over here be moved over there to try to maybe save some space to maybe build more res halls or food options on campus.
Is there something that would be more attractive, like for upperclassmen across the street, or somewhere where it's a little removed from the core campus, but it's still connected, like from a service standpoint?
I'd say student housing would probably be a good move to have over there, because then you're not as close to the academic buildings, and you can kind of have a separation between school and your life outside of school. And I think being over there, seeing like all the nature, it would encourage students to like get out of their rooms a little bit more, or people could do homework on various spots throughout the property.
Do you think the Institute has done a good job of communicating its plans for the property?
I honestly don't think so whatsoever.
It's the first time that I'm really hearing about it is from you.
I've like heard like rumors about things, but it's not like direct from like the administration. So I think like getting some more communication on that would be nice.
Yeah, well, we probably not, because we really haven't had much campus discussion about it. So we're just beginning to have, from our perspective, at least, or from my perspective, where that discussion should come from as part of this planning process, both involving students and faculty and staff, and we're just starting that now.